What can an e-mountain bike do that a mountain bike cannot? Well, it's a very sensitive subject, but nevertheless a very real one. So today then, we're going to be looking at some bogs, banks, mountains, and a bit of tech. Now, before we begin, let's say there is a broad agreement that we all love pretty much many of the same things. No more so than dropping in to an amazing trail. Remember, on an e-bike you do not have to wait for an uplift or a chairlift. It's all systems go. Waiting for the van to fill, long queues are a thing of the past. In fact, you don't even have to deal with all the nonsense being spouted off either. Remember, you cannot choose your mates on an uplift truck. Ooh, crikey, jumps. Not my cup of tea, more Christmas territory. And I suppose we could begin by saying there's probably some things that mountain bikes can do that e-bikes can't, such as 360s, tail whips, and those general tricky style things. Now, I say that such things as bar spins and tail whips cannot be done on e-bikes. Well, actually they can, and it's already been proved that they can be done. But I think one thing that we all share as mountain bikers that we love is that's having fun. And sometimes mountain biking can be downright hard work. An e-bike can be fun uphill and downhill. Now, one thing e-mountain biking is truly great at, and that is allowing people of all sizes, shapes and abilities to get out and enjoy the countryside. But not only that, to be able to do it with people who've been doing it for longer and also possibly fitter. Now, clearly the likes of people like Danny McCaskill can take a mountain bike into places nobody else can. But one of the greatest things of e-mountain bikes can turn an average rider into a mountain goat overnight. But there's loads more things that an e-mountain bike is great at that you might struggle on a mountain bike. How about chatting to your mates when you're climbing steep hills? Or maybe not, but it's up to you. The option is there if you choose to cruise up, catching up with your mates and just gossip. Remember the physical side of e-mountain biking. More terrain in less time. Far more riding. In fact, this is something you really need to bear in mind because e-bikes can be a huge workout. More downhill, more pedaling. Don't for 1 minute think that e-bikes don't keep you fit. And remember, the more time on a bike, then more chance of learning new skills and also be able to replicate that. So what about climbing properly insane climbs? Now, as I mentioned earlier, the likes of Chris Ackrig or maybe Danny McCaskill can do things on a mountain bike that other people cannot, but be prepared to climb steeper than you've ever done before. And remember the associated crazy heart rates that go with that kind of climb. Now, going for mixed ability rides is a great strength of e-mountain biking. In fact, recently we did a video with the voice of World Cup downhill racing, Rob Warner, who had managed to get his son out of the house and onto the trails. True, ruining his school uniform in the process was not really part of it, but he was getting fully involved. An 8-year-old then who had no intention of mountain biking, just cutting loose and having fun. And we've seen all sorts of people, so many people over the years, even some 75-year-olds catching up with our filmers on a recent trip to Italy. And maybe some close friends such as Roberto Vanassa, who had lost 10 years of his mountain bike career due to hip and knee issues, suddenly given a new lease of life. Now, one thing I really love about e-bikes is their ability to ride in muddy conditions that you would probably have to get off and push on a non-e-bike. See how easy that was? And it really applies to people who live in hotter climates as well. You can get through sand, and actually you can actually make the ride last a lot longer. And those days where it's raining, e-bikes don't hold you back. It makes it more fun. Do you know what? When you think about it, there's loads of things you can do on an e-mountain bike that you cannot do on a mountain bike. Such things as towing a car. Yeah, well, Chris has shown us you can do that. You can charge your phone, but probably that's the last thing on people's minds. You can charge your lights, which is a great thing in the Northern Hemisphere in winter. And you can do such things as donuts, but maybe that shouldn't really be encouraged. And remember, an e-bike is a fully integrated workout machine. You can either ride at a low heart rate, or maybe decide to put in the effort and ride at a high heart rate, or maybe you can tell the bike what heart rate to work at. And remember, the displays on these bikes are incredibly complex. They can tell you your range, your cadence, your power output, or even such things as the time of day. I just choose to look at the sun. So an e-bike then clearly has supremacy over a mountain bike, but we're bound to say that. We're an e-mountain bike channel. So to balance things out, you guys, can you maybe tell us the things that you believe a mountain bike can do that an e-bike cannot? Don't forget to follow us on social media. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. I'm off up in the hills.